Welcome back to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with Isaiah Stevens, Colorado State basketball guard, junior. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Busy morning for me, scheduling some things, but let's get right into it. I mean, big thing with Athletic Minds is we talk about motivation, mindset, how you can elevate your game, not only your game, maybe just elevate your life in like all different sort of aspects, right? But now, a question to you, and really the main thing that I want to ask here is, what keeps you motivated throughout the season and to keep like staying hungry for the next thing?
Man, I think for me, the biggest thing that keeps me going is just having my family around me. Obviously, not physically with me, but we're in constant contact, constant communication. My mom, my dad, my brother, they continue to push me. And then also just being around such a great group of guys, great staff. They come to work every day, so that motivates me to put my shoes on and get ready to go to work each and every day for those guys as well.
Right, and a lot of times we talk about like what's your why, right? Like why are you doing what you're doing? Like why is stuff so important to you? You think your family plays a big role in like why you want to be, ultimately successful?
100%. Growing up, I've seen what a strong work ethic looks like from both my parents. They never had anything handed to them coming up, and just seeing the way that they were able to navigate through life.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, describe also maybe the relationship with your brother. I know him playing basketball as well, right?
Yep, 100%. Me and my brother are super close, much like my best friend, and my brother looked up to him. He's 8 years older than me, so when he's playing in high-level basketball games, I'm just a kid on the sideline and just admiring all the things he's doing. So that's where a lot of my from is.
For sure. I mean, another thing, why do you think it's so important to, never settle where you are, like whether in your like athletic career? Like there's always that next thing. Why do you think it's always so important to, stay, hungry for the next level?
There's always something that you can improve on. That's something that I was taught growing up, and something that I've continued to be taught here at Colorado State with our coaches. Satisfaction leads to something I've always lived by that I got from one of my trainers back home. But man, there's always somewhere that you can improve. I'm a big fan.
Right. And this past season, 1,000 points, right, at Colorado State.
Yep.
Take me through that moment and like, how does that feel to put that much time in and be recognized with such a great accomplishment?
Man, I think you saw the guys accomplish that in their college career, so definitely a blessing. I think it's just a tribute to all the time that I put in. All my teammates, all my coaches. Obviously, can't do it by myself.
Mm.
The guys, and so being able to achieve that is more of a team effort in my eyes.
Right, and now being with the team a couple of years now, obviously I think you've maybe stepped into a leadership position on the team. What do you think makes a great leader, like in terms of qualities?
For me, I think is being an everyday guy is one of the first steps. You can't have too many bad days. Leader on the team, as the point guard on the team, you're an extension of the coach on the floor. Being able to hold guys accountable, knowing when it's time to pick guys up. So it's definitely finding a balance between being there for them and also holding them accountable, and then also opening up the door for them to do the same for you. And I feel like that's what makes a good culture. So it's not just one guy at the head. It's a lot of different individuals playing a part in it. So
Never playing basketball myself, but obviously from watching, and you mentioned how you play the point guard position, right? You probably see the court, call plays, whether it be whatever the coach calls out, whatever. Is there a specific moment this past season that maybe stood out to you in terms of like something that was really cool, like maybe a key moment or a key play or something like that?
A key moment had to be probably our halftime down in the Virgin Islands, Paradise Jam. We were down by 20 to Northeastern. We had just came off of beating Creighton the semifinal game, so we were on this really high. And then all of a sudden, we come out and lay an egg in the first half against Northeastern, and we're down 20 in a game that we felt like we could have come out and dominated from the jump. But that halftime was definitely rated R for sure. There were a lot of players holding each other accountable, which is huge in our program. So we came out the second half and we really flipped the switch, and we ended up coming back from 26 down to win the championship in the Paradise Jam. So that was a memorable moment from this
For
past
sure. I
season.
mean, I can definitely tell. Anytime you come back from really, especially from a big as deficit as that, it has to feel good. Like, you really made a difference, and at halftime or whatever. But you mentioned how like your coach maybe like said some things to you guys. Do you think you perform better when someone's like all in your face yelling at you and like motivating you like that, or maybe a calm, cool, collected? How do you think you work in terms of like motivation, sort of?
I think it's a fine line. I think you got to have a little bit of both because not everything is as big as what people make it seem. So you need to be calm in some instances, and then there are times where situations are as big as they seem, and so you really got to let it in, lock in. But our coaches up here, they more times than not, they're cool, calm, and collected under pressure. But at the same time, they've had to get on some guys, and they've had to let us know when we're not performing up to our standards as a program. And that's a part of the business. That's a part of
Right.
basketball. You want a coach that's going to be able to hold you accountable in time like that in rough times. So I feel like we definitely have a great balance here.
Of course, and it definitely sounds like it in terms of your success this past season. But nothing really happens for that without we can go back to like a solid routine, like morning routine, like rituals that you guys do every day. For you personally now, what is your morning routine like? I know in the off season it's probably different than during the season, but for right now, what are some of your best habits that you think you have every morning?
Well, for me, I get up. I have a basketball workout at 6. Then we have a team lift at 7:30, and then after that, I get up, go to class from about either 9 or 10 o'clock, depending on the day, and then we come back and then we work out again, probably about 12:45, 1 o'clock. And so,
Mm.
for me, that keeps me locked in. Just getting up, getting a workout in to start my day. It helps me feel just even better about how I'm preparing, how I'm continuing to improve my game. I'm a morning person in that regard, so that's pretty much my routine as it's been through the spring.
You mentioned a 6 a.m. like basketball workout. So what time does that mean that you wake up in the morning, and how often does that take place?
It takes place probably about 3 to 4 times a week. Obviously, depending on the week, we're recruiting and
Right,
stuff
right.
like. Get up probably about 5:25, 5:30. That's my first alarm. Just it takes me a minute to.
First alarm.
It takes me a minute to get the wheels turning. So
Mm.
I definitely got to set my alarm a little bit further, maybe some others, but probably that first one goes off about 5:25. Gets moving around a little bit. Got to get at least like a banana or a bar in me and some water.
Mm.
Head over to the gym.
For sure, for sure. And you mentioned maybe banana or like a protein bar like that. What are some of like your favorite foods that you think are on the healthier side that you like try to always put in your body?
Right. I like salads a ton. Get it from my mom. She's a big salad eater.
Hey.
Salads. Definitely big on the fruit side. Love apples, oranges, bananas.
Mm.
Grapes is probably my. So on the healthier side, I'll probably say a couple of those and maybe like a trail mix, Nutri-Grain, bars, small stuff like that.
For sure. For me personally, it's kind of hard to fit in protein bars because I'm allergic to peanuts. But
Ooh,
I find my specific ones. But yeah, definitely some of those are really good for you. And everyday things to stay consistent on a diet is definitely super important. Maybe even more important than working out every day. Because
100%.
without one, I mean, you have to balance, right?
100%. Nah, facts. That's definitely an area that I'm trying to improve in and just be more diligent in. Is on the day-to-day basis when life gets going a little fast, staying disciplined with the stuff that I'm putting into my body, just so that way I could take it to the next level. So, yeah.
Right, and now along with food, you have staying hydrated with water. Right, that's a big thing. People say a gallon a day. Where are you in terms of like how much water you taking every day?
I'll probably say close to a gallon. I try to get there, if not right under it. During the season, I was carrying a gallon around with me. Need to get back on that, actually. I'm glad. But during the season, I was carrying around a gallon a day, just refilling it every week or so, get a new bottle, stuff like that. So
Right.
that's about the number I try to hit.
Not currently being an athlete myself, still drinking water in like a gallon a day, a half gallon, super important still. Like I can clearly tell a difference in like just my overall movements throughout the day if you're not hydrated, and that's really for anybody, not just athletes. I think, right?
Yep, 100%. I mean, water is personally my favorite beverage. That's where I get at all restaurants. I think that probably comes just from my upbringing. My dad, that's really all we was drinking at the house. Didn't have a whole lot of juice or sodas and stuff like that. So just kind of been ingrained in me. So I'm definitely a fan.
For sure, for sure. Another big thing on top of like food, drink, working out is sleep, right? Sleep is super important, I feel. So what would you recommend in terms of like how much sleep and when to get sleep for an athlete like yourself, or maybe someone coming into college sports, and like how should they really like figure their own sleep out?
Yeah, I think it's definitely tough right away when you first get to college. The workouts pick up, the intensity level of everything you do is at a higher level. So naturally, your body gets drained, maybe more than you would as like a junior or a senior, someone who's a little bit used to it. So, man, when I first got to college, man, as soon as my workouts were done, I was trying to take a nap, different stuff like that. Ultimately, that kept me up late at night. So I struggled with that for a while. But nowadays, man, if I do take a nap, I try not to let it go for too long. I'll set me an alarm for maybe 45 minutes to an hour if I had that time available. But then for the most part, man, try to get at least 8 hours, man. I feel like that's the number, 7 to 8. Does it always work out that way? No, but
Right.
that's the I'm shooting for.
Definitely solid, and sleep is super important. It's like a recharge, for yourself, your body. You can't remember things the right way if you don't get enough sleep. I think that's a big thing, especially being an athlete with like plays and like remembering all that kind of stuff. So definitely super important.
Very underrated.
Yes. Let's take it back now, back to high school, right? Allen High School, you led the team to a state championship. Tell me about that feeling and how that felt.
Man, the one that I've remembered since that day happened, one that I will forever remember, winning it with my brothers. Those were some childhood friends that I won the championship with. So knowing them for well over 6-7 years at that point, and maybe some even longer than that. But I remember going down to San Antonio, who had never won a state tournament. Right. So that was something super cool to be a part of, man. And we went down there with a weren't the big, strongest, fast team, but we could all dribble past too. So we outsmarted teams with our IQ and our skill set. So, man, just a dream. I wish it were ended, but it definitely was one to remember.
Right, and believe it or not, my team and I, we did a little bit of diving. We did, a deep dive about yourself. We found back in like third grade, you wrote how you were going to win the high school state championship. Any comments on that?
Yeah, so like I said, my brother's 8 years older than me, right? So at the time, he was in high school playing. Used to go to all the games, sit there, watch, run around the gym as it's going on, all the little kid stuff. And I always remember that his team was good, but they always would lose a couple games. So eventually in class, I forgot what my teacher's name was, but I remember her face. She had us write a book over what our most prominent. So at the time, going to games twice a week, watching my brother, wanted to be like him. Most prominent dream at the time, won a state title at Allen High School. So it's crazy how when you speak, these chances of happening is significantly increased. So,
like you manifested it.
I know, I definitely did, but it's definitely a blessing for sure. Just went out there, just wrote how I felt a game would play out. Put down a school that I could remember. Obviously, I didn't know all the teams yet, but I could remember who was a really good high school team at the time, and so just kind of let it play how I felt it should have.
Oh wow! Right now, when you and your brother, is there ever some sort of you got one on him that you ended up getting it done and he couldn't have?
Yeah, for sure, a little bit. He's super happy for me. He was one of my biggest supporters, so I don't rub it in too much. But there's been times where high school teams have came up because, like I said, man, he had a lot of talented players on his team that went on to do great things. They just could never really put it all together as a unit. So we talked about his team, my team, his team. A whole lot more athletic and physical, but my team was more skilled and smart. So all that different stuff. So definitely been some good conversations.
For sure, for sure. And now another thing that might be a little competitive. We have my team and I found. Talk to me about video games. 2K. Who's the best 2K player on your team?
It's me for sure. Don't lose too often. If I do, I always get my win right back. Not too many people have played on our current team, but when I first got to college, pretty much when we first got here, we used to have tournaments over the weekend periodically. Guys food, everybody pitch in $5, and then we just hang out on a Saturday. So it used to be super cool, man. But a couple of us still play, maybe like 3 or 4, and we just rotate through that. So
yeah, it's definitely good times. Something else we found is you like to bowl. Tell me about bowling. How good are you at that?
Man, I would like to say I'm solid. I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say I'm elite or anything like that, but I don't know, man. Bowling just became one of those things that's just always fun every time I go. I don't know. It's one of my favorite hobbies to pass time. I need to go and get me a session in now that I'm done. So that would be a nice little way to celebrate. But yeah, man, it can get competitive. Me and my friends, we bowl every time I go home for a little bit in the spring/summertime. It's like a group of 7 or 8 of us. We go every time. Yeah, so it's competitive, talking some trash, but it's fun, man.
For sure. Definitely. Couple more we got here. Next one. You get to go to dinner with 2 people, dead or alive. Who are you going with? Where are you going? What are you ordering?
Ooh, okay. That's a great question. One person that I'm definitely wanting at that table is Chris Paul. That's my favorite point guard, favorite player. Someone that I looked up to growing up. Who would I want to talk to? That's a good question. I would want to keep in the athlete realm, and I would love to have a conversation with Kobe Bryant. And I feel like them two at the same table would just be so much knowledge, basketball flowing around. But I'm gonna keep it right there with Kobe and Chris Paul.
That's my guy too. Yeah, man, definitely solid. 2 icons, really, and of course played. Your position. You probably match your game after them or something like that. So definitely solid picks there. Last but not least, and I guess we just kind of hit on it. Who would you say that maybe, you mentioned Chris Paul, but do you think you maybe model your game around him, like a role model sort of?
I would definitely say, definitely took a lot of bits and pieces from his game. I try to mold it into my own style and different stuff like that, but grew up watching him, still watch him to this day. Gonna watch the playoff game later on. Definitely be tuned in, man, but I just love the way he commands the floor. Everyone, all his team love him, even though the opponents may hate him. And I feel like that's the ultimate respect. It's like the guys you're playing against really want to compete with you and go. Guys you're playing with ultimately respect you. They love you. They know that you care about them, stuff like that. So I think that's the ultimate sign of a great leader and a great floor general.
Of course, man. It's been great talking with you. I mean, that's all we have here. You have anything you want to add or shout something out we didn't mention?
Nah, man, I'm good. I appreciate you having me on, though, man.
Of course, man. It's been an honor. Stay on it, and we'll definitely keep in touch going into next year, and, can't wait to see what your future holds.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right.